When hearing changes, it's not only the ear that changes. Sometimes it feels like your whole identity changes too. Imagine you're with family or friends. Someone makes a joke and everyone laughs. You smile along, but inside, you're slightly behind because you didn't quite catch what was said. By the time you understand, the conversation has already moved on. Before, things weren't like this. You were naturally part of the discussion. Conversations felt easy. You could connect with people without thinking about it. Now you start to notice small changes. After social situations, you feel more mentally tired. Sometimes there's a quiet uncertainty about what people are talking about. And little by little, you may start to feel slightly more distant, even when you're surrounded by people you care about. If you've experienced this, you're not imagining it. It's real. Communication is one of the foundations of human identity. It's how we connect with others and feel that we belong. Through conversation, we confirm that we are part of the group, part of the moment, part of the relationship. When communication becomes harder, something subtle can happen. You may feel more isolated. You may feel different from the people around you. You may feel slightly outside the flow of conversations. And slowly, an identity shift can appear. Two versions of you begin to coexist. The person you used to be in conversations, who followed everything easily, and the person who is now learning to adapt to hearing changes. Many people describe it this way. Sometimes I feel slightly out of sync with people, not because they're unkind, but because I can't stay fully in the flow of the conversation anymore. And it makes me feel like I'm not quite the same person I was a few years ago. This experience is very common. Psychologists sometimes describe it as an identity crisis. When hearing changes, confidence can drop. Some people begin to question their abilities or their place in social situations. Imagine someone whose job relies heavily on communication. When hearing declines, it can feel like their professional identity is threatened. And this is where many people get stuck, because the instinctive reaction is to try harder, listen harder, concentrate more, push through. But the harder you try, the more exhausted you become. Because hearing changes don't only affect the ear, they increase the mental effort required to follow a conversation. Your brain starts filling in missing words, reading faces more carefully, predicting sentences before they end. And over time, that constant effort can make you feel less like yourself in social situations. The emotional impact grows. Some people begin to close themselves off quietly. They speak less in group conversations. They avoid noisy places. They let others lead discussions. Not because they want to withdraw, but because they don't know what else to do. Many people then start thinking, I used to be confident and social, and now I'm not that person anymore. But identity doesn't work that way. Human identity is not fixed. It evolves throughout life, with age, experiences, and changes in the body. Hearing changes are one of those transitions. So the key shift is this. You're not losing your identity. Your identity is adapting. Your personality, your values, the person you are, those things remain. What's changing is how communication works around you. One helpful step is to take control of the story you tell yourself. Identity works a bit like a personal narrative. When hearing changes appear, some people begin telling themselves a limiting story. My life is becoming smaller. But that story can change. For example, my way of communicating is evolving, and I'm learning new ways to stay connected. That shift alone can change how you experience social situations. I noticed this myself. Another important part of the process is accepting something that can feel strange at first. For a while, two versions of you may coexist. The person you were before hearing changes, and the person learning to adapt now. During this period, it's normal to feel slightly disoriented. almost like you don't fully recognize yourself in certain moments. Psychologists call this an identity transition. Your identity doesn't disappear, it becomes integrated. You don't erase the person you were, you integrate that person into a new version of yourself. Many people eventually develop a more intentional way of relating to others. They choose environments more carefully. They prefer deeper conversations. They focus more on the quality of interactions. Their social identity becomes more conscious and deliberate. You can say to yourself, yes, my hearing has changed, but I'm still the same person with all my qualities. Your identity is not determined by your hearing. It's determined by how you continue to live, connect, and stay present with the people around you. I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll see you again soon.